in the synthesis of hemoglobin. Like in mitochondria, what happens is the succinyl coenzyme and glycine, they combine in the presence of ALA synthetase, and finally we have this delta amino levulonic acid formation. And so, and this particular this amino levulonic acid, two molecules of amino levulonic acid in the presence of ALA dehydratase, we have the formation of four porphobilinogen rings. And then we have this uroporphobilinogen 1 formation, and then uroporphobilinogen 3 formation. Finally, we have caproparphenogen 3, and finally we have this hemoglobin formation. So that was the basics. That was the basic concept about the formation of the hemoglobin. Now we have to discuss about the components of the blood and formed elements in today's lecture. Discussing a few more points about RBCs. While the number of RBCs in the blood is important, hemoglobin is the key. Basically, hemoglobin is the final thing, which is the most important part of RBCs. And the more hemoglobin molecules in the RBCs contain, the more oxygen they can carry. Because the concept is, in this slide, if we see, hemoglobin combines with oxygen and forms oxyhemoglobin, and this concept is going on in the lungs. And finally, this oxyhemoglobin, this travels in the blood and goes to other tissues, and finally oxyhemoglobin is broken down into hemoglobin and oxygen. Finally, this particular oxygen is entering the tissues which are having low concentration of oxygen and helping them to sustain, helping them to function. That is what the main concept of hemoglobin is. Apart from that, we have these leukocytes or white blood cells. So these are complete cells with nuclei, mitochondria, and organelles, and they move in amoeboid fashion and can squeeze, leave the blood vessels through the capillary walls. So additionally, we can say they are almost invisible. So they are named after stains. So generally, like neutrophils, basophils, eosinophils, they are all named after stains like eosin and other stains. So neutrophils are most abundant WBCs. Neutrophils are one of the most abundant white blood cells. Their maximum number, that is up to 70% of RBCs, are neutrophils. And so they are involved in immune functions and is crucial for defense. And sometimes we have more than 11,000 cells per millimeter cube. That indicates infection, and we say it is leukocytosis. And when this abnormally low, we say that is leukopenia, and usually this happens due to corticosteroid or chemotherapy. So there is a drastic decrease in the number of white blood cells. So this is how we see the different types of white blood cells. So normally, if we go ahead, so normal count is 6,000 to 8,000 per millimeter cube of blood, and WBCs are formed in bone marrow again, and their formation is called leukopoiesis, right? So as we've discussed that it is decrease of WBCs, it is called leukopenia, and increase in WBC is called leukocytosis. Apart from that, the white blood cells are basically categorized into granulocytes and non-granulocytes. So these cells, basically, the neutrophils, eosinophils, and basophils, they are basically all granulocytes because they have the granules, because the granules are present in them. These granules are basically, we can say, the granules contain lots and lots of different kinds of enzymes which are present in them. And these granules take either acidic or basic stain. So like neutrophils, they can take both acidic as well as basic stain. Eosinophils take only acidic stain, and basophils take basic stain. So in this case, neutrophils are multi-lobed, and some granules here, they are taking the acidic dye and some are taking the basic dye. Whereas eosinophils, they have bilobed nucleus. And lastly, the basophils, these are in this case, the granules take the basic dye, and the nucleus is quite distinct, quite big in case of basophils. So the granular leukocytes help detoxify foreign substances and release heparin also. So eosinophils, basophils, and neutrophils are the basically we can say the granulocytes. Non-granulocytes, in that case, we have monocytes and lymphocytes. So like in monocytes, we have non-specific granules, and in lymphocytes, we have large nucleus with little cytoplasm. So discussing about the concept of these particular neutrophils. So these neutrophils are very abundant and very motile, and they have this, we can say, the concept of these granules. So they have these we can say the primary granules, secondary granules which are present in them. So this primary granules which are present in these neutrophils, they are also called very defensive special proteins, in which they almost function like immunoglobulins. Apart from that, these primary granules, which they are filled with acid hydrolases and myeloperoxide enzyme, which help in the production of the hypochlorous acid, and this product is highly toxic for microbes and bacteria. In this way, neutrophils are very active. Apart from that,